So I know I keep on going on about these stories, about the stories in your mind, about how you have to quiet your own stories. And I know I keep on going on about it, but it keeps on opening up for me to new and new levels, to new layers. And it keeps on growing. So I'm getting to the stories, and the stories that we go by in our minds are repetitive. And if we are following the stories that are in our mind, we're not creating our own stories. So when you are able to quiet down the stories, quiet down all the different timelines, um, and concentrate your intention into the now, which is what Vipassana, what the teachings of Buddha also teach, how to come into the now, and then you get your power back. So when you're able to collapse all of those different stories that are in your mind, which are all of these different timelines, energetic timelines that are happening at the same time, right? You could see it as different energies that are all around us all the time, and it's what energies we're connecting to. And then we connect to, because we are also receivers and also the opposite of receivers, the transmitters. We have the capability to perceive energies, and that means energies of others. Like whenever if you know somebody that is perpetually pissed off, and they come into your energy frequency, or even if you think about them, so you're connecting with their energy. I got here to the ancient springs. They're over there, but there's a pump here that is pumping it over to the hot water down to the paid springs down there, the paid hot springs. So I'm going to go into the antiquities here. I'm kind of going around. You'll see it as I walk around it. Um, these are ancient Roman runes from almost 2,000 years ago. I think it's from 1,800 years ago, something like that, or 1,900 years ago, something like that. And so when the Romans came in, I think it was Legion, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Legion 10 that came in here, and they built these beautiful hot springs. So that's the floor of an ancient tub. And if you look there in the very middle, the center stone has writing on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I can't zoom in on this mode. But behind me also, see the mucky water right there? That is boiling hot water. It's like really hot. It's like hot to where you can't get into it. And I'm walking now down this little path that was kind of like a reservoir that led the hot water over into this section, which has this massive Roman bath. See, I'm at the front of a massive Roman bath. I love coming here. I feel connected to this place, to this space. And up on there, you can see an ancient, well, it's not ancient, an old Mizgad, which is like a prayer place for Muslims. So it's kind of interesting how everything comes together here in one little place. In the Middle East, there's so many different influences that have come through. You can see 2,000-year-old runes. It's something absolutely magnificent. This is a place that has energy to it. Look at this one. See, it's another bath. They're just they're not, it doesn't work anymore. So this is just, I am at the hot springs where my car is parked, and I came for a little trip over here, and I also wanted to talk about these stories in your mind, which actually you can look at them as controlling your emotions. What are emotions? Emotions are vibrations. There are all the different emotions all around you at all times. It depends on what emotion or what vibration you can connect to. Because we are also receivers, we can connect to all of the different energies that are happening around us. So these stories that we had in our mind, which you could either see as different timelines, different possibilities. They're all different. They're just stories, and they're connected to their own energy force. It's the way that I see it energetically is that you connect to an energetic field, and that energetic field has a certain feeling to it, has a certain vibration to it that touches you in a certain way, and it creates these stories. That's how there's a lot of us globally going through the same things. The story is different, but the energy of it and the vibration of it and the feel of it is the same, and it has the same energetic template. So what solves one person's dilemma with those energies can solve somebody else's dilemma that when they are dealing with something that is completely different on the surface, but energetically it's falling into the same category energetically, so, or archetypically. And so a lot of these stories in our minds that we're having are actually vibrations. And when we understand, when we come into complete control over our avatar, our being, our human self, our emotions, then we also have the power to decide what energies we will connect to and what energies we won't connect to. And so when you get out of, instead of following the stories, right? You're allowing these energies to come into you, and they take over your being, and you get flustered, and you get like dragged down river within these energies. Instead of that, when you're able to separate yourself and see the different energies, then instead of the story taking you and making itself the story having control over you and and creating itself within you because of the energy that you're allowing to yourself to, like, as if you were like a sponge. You're sponging up this energy, and the energy is creating stories that are in that same energy space. And so you're creating all these different timelines that aren't actually playing out. But when you take control over your receivers, what you allow into your energy, what energy you allow to sponge up, what you allow to, um, it's just like taking control over your emotions, taking control over your avatar. You decide what the story is, and then you can start seeing the energies as entities, as archetypes. You could call them. You could call them anything you wanted to, demons and angels, depending on what energy it is. But when you're able to begin to recognize these energies as kind of entities, or recognize your emotions as entities, and I think that recognizing your emotions and recognizing these energies, they kind of go hand in hand. When you begin to recognize your emotions and you begin to take control back over them, then you also at that point, if you are aware of it, you can start paying attention to energies that are all around you and energies that have overtaken other people, and what you do allow into yourself and what you don't allow. And in the beginning, you have this energetic field. In the beginning, you may have to just put people out of your energetic field until you can completely master your domain. But when you get to a point of complete mastery of your domain, of your avatar, of yourself, of your personality, of what you agree to feel and what you don't agree to feel, and who has control over you, and you have complete control over your own self, then first of all, you lose any kind of need to satisfy anybody else's opinion. You have straightforward conversations that absolutely have no feelings, and I don't mean it like in a cold way, because when you come to this stage, you are actually pure love, because there is no wrong and right, and you just see everything the way that it is. You have complete compassion and understanding of, your own. You take control of your own avatars, and then you can see others struggling in the places that they're struggling, and you have complete compassion and understanding and no judgment over that. So you come from a place of love, but you also lose the need to satisfy other people's emotions, because you see it as a separate entity. You see it as something that is Actually, if they overcome those emotions and are able to take hold of their emotions, then they will also be saved. And saved, I mean by enlightened, come into a place of enlightenment. And when you're able to disattach yourself, detach yourself from allowing these energies to come in and overtake you and make up the story, then you come into control of the energies that you allow in, and you come in control of the story. And then you become the storyteller. You become the storyteller of your own life. You get to decide what the story is, and according to the story, you attach the emotions to it, or you attach the energies to it. Let's say if I want a story now that I am having a great time in a camping trip, then I'm going to feel, what it feels like, and I'm going to start creating that story in that vibration rather than allowing either the physical story to tell me what the emotion is or what the vibration is, or connecting to vibrations, which is really sloppy creation, is connecting to vibrations, and then the story arises from the feeling, whatever the story is. Because all our life is a sequence of stories, and a whole bunch of stories that are happening simultaneously. I mean, it's all sorts of different energies that we have, all different people that we have. We have tons of stories, but in actuality, if you look at me, if I'm not talking, there is no story. So the stories are all in our mind. They're all made up. What is really right now happening is I'm sitting on this stone. My keys and my dogs are right here. They're not mine, actually. They're their own, but they come with me. I'm sitting under this magnificent, look, it's like Samson, the story of Shimshon Agipo, the Samson, is that his name? In front of these ruins, look. So this is the actual real story. If you take all the pain away and all the drama away, the real story is just this. There's butterflies here flying around, and I'm free. So that's more about these stories. That's why I keep on going on and on about the stories that we tell ourselves. You have to, when you get to the place where you can just quiet all the stories, the pain, it's like the pain goes away and you're full. You feel full, but you don't only feel full, you feel present. You're present. All the stories, you realize that they're just stories. And then when you take all the stories away, imagine just like taking all the stories out of your brain. Just lay down, take out the stories, and it empties. And then you are open to create the story that you want in your life. Tell the story that you want. Like I am on this amazing, absolutely wonderful journey of self-discovery into complete bliss and heaven on earth. Everything is beautiful. Everything is still. Everything is patience. Everything is as is. Everything is exactly as it needs to be and can't be any different because of the sequence of events that has brought everything to be in this place, and everything is perfect. It's always perfect. It's always perfect. Even when you see that all of the existence that we have ever known around the world, everything is shaking, but it's all for the good. It's all for the good of the planet. It's all for the good of, whatever is old and not working is falling apart. Whatever's not growing is diminishing. Whatever is not growing is dying. So whatever is happening right now in the world, it's because whatever has been built till now, everything that's breaking down means that it was unsustainable, means that it doesn't have its life power anymore. So it means that there are times of changing. And during that time of changing, there are sacrifices being made. And we can look at this twin flame journey or the spiritual journey as also being some sort of sacrifice, being of sacrificial right, because we go first. We're the ones that are going out into the unknown and writing the story, writing the path, showing how it's done, doing the work first, plowing the fields, getting everything, showing a different way, and going into this new world, even though others don't always understand. And then you completely, that's like, again, going back to that, where you completely lose the need of others' approval. See, and this is another bath. I think this was kind of like the bath for like the lepers, or like people that had skin conditions, or the slaves. I don't know. People of a lesser, because this is like a little tiny bath, and then there's like a work area over here too. So it looks like something that was either for the poor people, or because this was like for the Roman legions that came through here. This was right on the edge of the Yarmouk Valley. Um, and this sits right on the border of Jordan. So that is what I'm up to. Going on and on about these stories. Get the stories. I can see that this is a very, very practical, important part of the spiritual awakening and the twin flame journey of getting over that chasing mode, is getting rid of the stories. You have to get rid of the stories. And any of you that is in this, understand there's this story and there's that story, and there's all these different timelines going on, and all these different things that we're perceiving, and the science and synchronicities, and we have to get rid of the stories and bring your mind into a quiet, quiet place. I know it's easier said than done, but you also can trust this journey that it's going to bring you to that place, and you'll recognize that when you get there, because there is no other way. I'm going back out here by that noisy thing, so I'm just going to go around this way. Actually, I'm going to go through the pool. And here's that stone that I was talking about that has like writing on it, has the name of whoever did it. That's a pretty cool thing to have. Like, it's a pretty cool artifact. Seeing these things that used to shoot water out of them. I imagine that when this place was up and running 2,000 years ago, so this was the edge, the cutting edge of technology. It was like modern, and not only modern, beautiful. I imagine that this was just like, I imagine they spoke of this back in Rome because of how magnificent it is. The water smells like sulfur, so every time I go home, I smell like sulfur, and I think that the white hair that I have is turning yellow from the water, but then I wash it sometimes with baking soda or with vinegar. Vinegar it cleans white hair. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Thank you for coming with me for this nice little trip. This was a lot of fun. So I'm going to go back to the other hot springs. In the video before this, I filmed it there. And I'm going to get in the hot water. And then I'm going to, I think, head home and just do what I can do as well as I can do it. I bought myself hard disks, so I'm going to start, I guess, just do what I can do. So thank you for watching.